Mr. Quick Scott.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I tell you what, a person who believes that this wasn't set up by our own government is an idiot.
It's never been tried before. You can't meet anybody who can say 100% that is harder or easier. Nobody can tell you it's better to take this than that. Nobody can say that because nobody knows. Thus, there should be no fear in this. Now, I'm not going to give you any advice as far as when to take it, how many times to take it, blah, 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 blah. But I am going to expose you to what is on it and what you need in order to prepare for it. That part is my responsibility because that's a part of the course. That's a part of the American English class. So that. But as far as giving you advice about when you should take it, how many times you take it, all of that, I'm finished all that because I'm not doing it anymore. However, what's on it? So let's talk about what's on it and how it connects to our class. Now, you can write this down if you're fast enough, but I don't think you'll be fast enough. At any rate, I'm recording this right now, so maybe I put it up. Maybe I'll put it up. Here we go. Basics. It's the basics. And we're talking about grammar. Noun agreement, and as I say these things, I want you to go in your mind. Wait a minute, I told you, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to put it up at some point. I want you to listen, because when you're writing, you're not listening. This is why I make videos of most everything we do in this class, because if you're writing, you're not listening. I need you to listen first, and then maybe contemplate what is said later. But listen. Listen to some of these grammar concepts. Some of them you should already know. Noun agreement, shift in verb tense, pronoun agreement, pronoun, possessive pronoun, adverb usage. Now, this is not new stuff. This is not advanced grammar stuff that, you only learn in 10, 11, 12th grade. You should have already learned these or have some idea of them. So thus, there's nothing really to be afraid of. Now, the advanced stuff, pronoun ambiguity or ambiguous pronoun, misplaced or dangling modifiers, subject-verb agreement, comparisons, and idiomatic expressions, idioms. Okay? So I don't really think I'm saying things that, you don't know, even in the advanced. Okay? Now, the writing section. There is a writing section on the SAT. There's on the new SAT. A writing. I'll put it in quotes because it's not like the one that is today. The one that we have today is you look at a sentence. There's a part of the sentence underlined. You decide if that part that's underlined is correct or not. Well, no. They took that sentence and they put it in a paragraph. So now that sentence is there, but now it's in a paragraph in the same way. So that section that we call writing is kind of like reading, writing. It's like a hybrid reading, writing. So now you got to read more, in other words. To keep with the focus of the new SAT, the reading section. Okay? But the writing is in there. It's a 35-minute section. You're going to have to end up reading 1,700 words. Okay? 4 passages. And the passages aren't going to be long passages, 400 to 500 words, shorter than the reading passages. 44 questions, multiple choice, 4. It used to be 5. Now you're going to choose between 4. That's the grammar. The sentence structure. That shouldn't be a new term for anybody in here. Run-on sentences, fragmented sentences. Wordiness, redundancy, confused words, or diction is another term to put it. You should at least have heard some of these concepts before, if not, have done them. I can't imagine a 10th grade class at the beginning of 10th grade has never seen or dealt with or went over in an English class run-on sentences. I just can't imagine that. But even this is not difficult English writing concepts. It's not difficult at all. On the new SAT, however, as opposed to the soon-to-be old SAT, you're going to be tested on punctuation. You weren't tested on that on the old SAT. Non-restrictive and restrictive elements. The comma, the parentheses, the dash, unnecessary punctuation, possessives. Talking about that apostrophe thing. Sentence structure punctuation. Where to put the comma at, where not to put the comma at, and so forth and so on. In sentence punctuation, believe it or not. And I'm really glad they're going to test us on that. It's so frustrating to get an assignment from a 10th grader that has no in-mark punctuation. It's like, where did your sentence stop? Hey, the way it's right there. I said, well, how am I supposed to know that? So they're going to test. I'm glad they brought the punctuation in, which is excellent. I'm really happy about that. Paragraph structure. At some point in time, you should have learned how to write a paragraph. It should have been back in 3rd grade, maybe 4th grade, okay, 5th grade, 6th grade. I mean, come on, at some point, you should know how to write a paragraph. Well, you're going to be tested on it. On the current SAT, you are tested on paragraph structure. Yes, you are tested on it. With the new SAT, you're going to be tested on it, but it's going to be within a passage. Sequence of ideas. You're supposed to know that a paragraph is just a sequence of ideas to lead back to the main idea. Transitional words, topic sentence. You should know what a topic sentence is. A conclusion. You should know how to conclude a paragraph. This is elementary stuff. This is not advanced, some crazy grammar stuff that you never heard of before. This is the easy stuff. Tone, consistency, and style. I mean, this is really easy stuff. The essay, and we're going to talk about the essay in a minute. Look, this grammar on the new SAT, even on the one that everybody's taking now, this is not new grammar. This is grammar that you've been learning since 1st grade. You're all supposed to come to 10th grade with this grammar. Only thing I'm here to do is get you to, improve it a little bit. But if you can't get me to believe you don't know what a pronoun is, or you don't know what a verb is, or an adjective, or an adverb, come on, let's be real here. Essay writing. The essay is going to be different. But, it ain't going to be different for you because you never wrote the essay for the old SAT. But if you had to, spend a year taking the old SAT, and now you got to take it, it's going to be a completely different ball game in the essay. But it's not a different type of essay if you learn how to write an essay in the American system at least, or even in the British system. Even if we're talking about writing a composition, it's the same format. You got to do brainstorming before you start. You got to have a thesis. You should make an outline to organize your thoughts. There should be, it's so forth and so on. You know how to write an essay, I hope. Don't worry about it. You're going to learn how to write one in here. That's for sure. Okay, so that's the grammar and writing. Easy stuff. You say anything in here that you should be afraid of? Anything want to make you cry right now? Come on, this stuff is too easy. It's too easy, really. Okay, well, I'm going to be honest with you. This is for the reading. It ain't that easy, okay? But you shouldn't be afraid. It's just the point of this. If you don't start today getting serious about reading, something you've been avoiding probably since 4th grade, because I know you probably like reading in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade. You like the books. Okay, I don't have to ask you because I already know. 4th grade, 5th grade, you start not liking books. 6th grade, I don't want to see a book. 7th grade, what? And 8th grade, what you doing that for when you see somebody doing it? Then that's how it went down. The unfortunate thing is that at 6th grade is when you should have started loving books. That's what you needed. 7th grade, it's like, that's what you just love to do. 8th grade, you get irritated, somebody stop you from reading. And 9th grade, so forth and so on. That's how it was supposed to be. That's not how it happened. Reading analysis concepts. What's in white? Okay, I made this for 11th grade. So I got to switch this around. What's in white is what we're going to do this year. What's in yellow is what 11th grade is going to do this year. So what's in white is our focus. Okay? This is 10th grade. Determining explicit meaning. Determining implicit meaning. Using analogical reasoning. This is what we're going to do in the 10th grade. And so forth and so on. Summarizing, understanding relationships, so forth and so on. In 11th grade, it's the really hard stuff. So don't worry about the yellow stuff. But the point being, and I tried to make this point last year to 11th grade, that is 11th grade this year. Our preparation for the SAT and the new SAT starts in 10th grade. It doesn't just start in 11th grade. So whoever's in the 11th grade, if they didn't really pay attention, they got none of the white. Which is the majority of what is on the new SAT. We're just doing what's in yellow now. I'm not going back to the white. No, why? Why would I do that? I don't have time for that. So, message to you. This is the year that the most of the preparation happens. Not next year when you actually got to do it. That's insane. Why would the most preparation be when you have to do the thing? It'll be like spending 3 months relaxing, knowing you have a game, but then the night before the game, you do your practice. Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. Not at all. Okay, so I already told you what the format of the reading section is. Much different than the one now. Now you have 25-minute sections. This one you got a 65-minute section, 3,200 words. You got 4 single passages and 1 paired passage. You got 500 to 750 words per passage. And the 750 word passages are really, really long. 52 questions. They brought it down to 4 questions from 5. But I wouldn't celebrate that point. This is a test of endurance. It's like going from running a 5K to doing a marathon. How long is the marathon? 26? What? Marathon, a real marathon, like a marathon. Anyway, the point being, that is a test of endurance. 65 minutes. And I always tell students that, you want to improve your reading, especially for this test, then you need to be reading 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. That's what you need to be doing. Reading 2 hours a day, 2 hours a day. In 10th grade, not in 11th grade. 11th grade is too late. I hate to say it. 11th grade is too late. This is the year. 2 hours a day. More. And this was the advice for the old SAT. I don't know what the advice would be for this one, but it's 65 minutes. Yes?
Kelly at least give us a book to read, and every week you give us an amount of pages to read and write a summary.
Oh, you already got a ton of reading from me. Now, what you read on your own, that's on. But you have a lot of, trust me, this quarter you're going to read more than you ever read before. It's going to be harder than you ever read before. But I am encouraging all students to don't stop with what I give you. That's not going to be enough. Okay, so let's continue. Our focus will be on presenting evidence. Evidence. You know what evidence is? You ever been to court? You ever seen court on TV? In movies? Yeah. You know, they get up and they present evidence. Right? They got to prove something. If you said somebody did something, you got to prove it, right? You got to present evidence. Well, that's what this reading section of the SAT is about. It's about evidence. That means that you are going to have to prove your answer. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Okay, so there are 2 new questions. They're not new for you. So I don't want you to assume, if you hear me say new, it is not new for you. So nothing to be afraid of, okay? There are 2 new question types that they added to the reading section. And I want to give you an example before I tell you what they're called. So here's an example. This is an actual example of what a question is going to sound like. What choice provides the best evidence for the previous question? For the previous question. So you were asked a question, And you, hopefully you didn't guess it, but you guessed one, and then you said, ah. Then you went to the next question, and the next question asks you to prove the question you just did. No more guessing on the SAT. It's eliminated, just like that. Bam! Let me tell you something, because I tutor the new SAT. I tutor the SAT. The one strategy that for the reading section that students rely 100% on is a guessing strategy. It's an call it the elimination strategy, where you eliminate possible answer choices to get your pool of choices down from 5 to 3 or to 2, and then you guess between the two. That's the guessing strategy. It's a classic strategy for the SAT. However, that's not a good indicator if you as a student knew the answer really. So they sought for a way to get rid of that strategy that you can learn from a tutor. They want to know if you know. So they came up with this. You have to prove that you knew the answer to the question you were just asked. That's wonderful. Actually, it's beautiful. You will have to evaluate evidence presented in graphical form. Meaning that on the new SAT, you're going to be given a graph along with the reading passage. And you're going to have a question that's going to ask you something like this. The graph following the passage offers evidence that gift givers, based on their predictions of how much a gift will be appreciated, and then you have your answer choices. It's called synthesizing, meaning that you're taking multiple informations and you're analyzing them to come up with an answer. Now, this is not a new question type for the College Board, because the AP exam that they make for those who are in the AP program, they already take those kind of questions. They just add it then to the new SAT to make sure everybody gets to, have fun with those types of questions. And I'm really happy that they did that. However, guessing with these questions becomes much more difficult, because you have to compare the two informations, and you actually have to know what they were in order to compare them, in order to get an answer. We call this, and you can write this down if you just want to have something to take home with you. These types of questions are called evidence-based questions. Evidence-based questions. Why are they called evidence-based? Because they are based on evidence. Because they're based on evidence. So there's no guessing. In other words, there's no guessing. But let me ask you a question, because all of you have been in an English class before. During a literature discussion, teacher asks a question. You raise your hand, Simon. You just answered the question. What is usually the next question the teacher asks? Why? That's it. That's the next question all English teachers ask. Well, help us to understand how you came to that conclusion. Well, where did you find that in the past? Where was that at? And then you have to look in your notes, or if the text is up here, you have to point it out to the class. So when you talk about the new SAT, it's actually an intelligent test. It makes sense, because that's what you do in class. When a teacher asks you a question, they always follow it up with why. They want you to explain your answer. Nobody is going to let you go away, especially in a literature discussion, without proving. Because, I'm like most teachers. I know you can guess, or your friend can whisper it to you. But I want you to prove to me that you read. So you got to come with the why. And it's usually the why that causes these problems with the students. All right, so we're going to finish this, going over this, making this connection. Now, this is an Islamic school. We'll talk about tomorrow.
That's rolling the hard way. We don't want to roll quite that hard. We want to get one of them little minibuses.
a person who believes that this wasn't set up by our own government is an idiot.
Everybody's gone out of their mind.
Welcome to Mr. Quick's class.
Welcome to Mr. Quick's class.
Welcome to Mr. Quick's class.
Welcome, Mr. Quick's class. Oh yeah. All right.